venue that's been sold out since it opened back in 2002. There's a look at the home of the Patriots, Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Mass. All the success in New England over the last few decades, and this crowd has never been more enthusiastic. A moment ago, the Pats emerged from their locker room. They are set as they'll square off with the San Francisco 49ers. Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season. Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. And they'll run. This is Trey Sermon. And an early how do you do right there as they're going to bury him in the backfield. It'll go as a loss of 3 right away, and it's second down.
That's a play to take note of there for the defense. I think in the future, if you're going to try and block him, maybe you get a guard to help double team him and try and steer him out of the play. They should have done it on that snap.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. A play fake for Sermon. Now Lance. Completes it to the tight end, Kittle. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? They sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. From the gun, Sermon. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
So into Pat's territory now. Here's 1st and 10, right at the 40. And the lane closes up quickly as he'll get about 3 down to the 38. This defense for the Patriots, they were terrific a week ago in that win over Detroit.
But we certainly had a nice conversation with the defensive coordinator, didn't we? And what we heard, I like what we did, but we definitely need more pressure on the quarterback this week.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's going to take this down close to the 1st as he's brought down at the Patriots 32. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or 2 short here with 3rd down coming up. And they give this time to the tailback. And he won't be close to a 1st down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. The 49ers are going to turn over the special teams crew. The field goal unit is out there now. From the left hash, it's an even 15-yard attempt. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good, and this will remain a scoreless game. Well, that opening drive looked good for a moment there, but they'll wind up being turned away thanks to the missed field goal.
And those especially hurt when you come into a game on the road. You're trying to get things to go your way early, and now you suffer a setback right out of the gate.
They'll run with a former member of the Crimson Tide, Damian Harris. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. It'll be a loss of 2, maybe 3 on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Jones. He's going to air one out. And incomplete on the deep ball.
That's an excellent job right there on 3rd down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a first down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's 4th down.
And the punter Bailey on now as he sends this one away. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And they are right at the 500 mark on the year and got there with a victory a week ago.
And I think right now I put myself in the shoes of the head coach. And
he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Desmond King picks it. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Patriot defense has a touchdown. Those free safeties, they get to sit back there if they've got good pass rushers like this team does. Read like a book. He read it like a book and took it in for 6.
And if they use their eyes well and their anticipation skills, they can make big plays, just as what we saw, a free safety's dream. Follow the football, go to it, and take it the other way.
A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. Throwing after the interception. Lance. They'll find Ayuk open right side. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down, because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. On the handoff, Sermon. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down. Well, you know, this club, there were some reports earlier in the week, and most have heard this by now, the so-called unnamed sources that were saying all is not rosy in that locker room. There's whispers that 1 or 2 guys, CD, have kind of had enough of how things are going and have been going. How would you handle that as a coach?
Well, you and I both know all the coaches that we've dealt with and come in contact with. They'd love to get their hands on those unnamed sources, wouldn't they? But they know that that's not possible, so I think they've got to go in there and make sure that this isn't a distraction. They also know that once the grumbling starts, it becomes a slippery slope and it's hard to stop the fall. But I think you need to sit some guys down and say, hey, look, we're still hoping to be a playoff team this year. We need you guys to be bought in with what we're doing. Come on, let's get on board.
Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call. Well, this crowd does not like that call.
Understandable reaction from them. That's their team that the penalty's going against. But you and I both know they're going to take care of the quarterback.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Lance now to throw. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
2nd and 10. Here's Lance to throw it. And this is caught at the 8. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Well, sometimes it's hard to take your eyes off this guy at the linebacker position. He can really cover some ground, and he did there to make that play.
And that is a situation where in a defender's mind, you just have to pick a point on the football field and think to yourself, I'm going to sprint full out and meet him at that point. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but he had to play diagnosed perfectly there.
After 7-0 on EA Sports. '49ers with their first trip to the red zone thus far. They've got a 1st and goal just inside the 5. Sermon. And he gets halfway home from the 4 down to the 2-yard line.
Well, he did get a taste the previous week. He got into the end zone trying his best to get there in this game. So far, he's been denied.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. Again with Sermon. And this is not going to do it as he's stopped at the 2-yard line. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
And the question now, can the Patriot defense hold firm again on 3rd and goal? Throwing now is Lance. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Desmond King picks it. And the Patriots are going to take over here on the INT at their own 5-yard line. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape, he's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
I think they're ahead of schedule now after that run. They might be bold with this 2nd down call after that type of a gain.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Back to throw. Jones. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
And that's a nice job there because you've got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties. And he's able to knock that one away.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Looking to throw. Jones. Flush to his right. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30.
That's a big gainer on that play, and from experience, I can tell you, that's where defensive backs will come into the huddle and say, guys, how about some pass rush? But you're going to say it nicely because those big guys up front, they don't like being criticized very much. Quarterbacks in this league, you know they'll pick you apart if you give them time like that to find receivers downfield.
And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
On 2nd and 12, Jones. And he's going to drop this down to Harris, middle of the field. So it's a gain of 12 there on the reception, and that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
A couple of first downs as the football.